The man in the yellow hat is an oddball museum employee who looks after his pet monkey, an inquisitive and wonderful creature whose enthusiasm often gets the best of him. Welcome back. This is Cartoon Recapped. Today we'll show you a 2006 family adventure cartoon called Curious George. Be aware of heavy spoilers. Sit back and enjoy the show. Ted is a museum tour guide who gives weekly presentations to schoolteacher Maggie Dunlop and her students. His boss and close friend, Mr. Bloomsberry, informs Ted that the museum is losing money and will have to close. Mr. Bloomsberry's son Junior wants to tear down the museum and replace it with a commercial parking lot. Ted impulsively volunteers to travel to Africa to bring back an ancient 40-foot-tall idol, the lost shrine of Zagua, hoping that it will attract visitors. He is outfitted with a bright yellow suit and hat and boards a cargo ship to Africa. In the African jungle, Ted finds the idol with the help of his guide, Edu, but it is only 3 inches tall. He sends a photograph of it to the museum, but the photograph's angle leads Mr. Bloomsberry to believe that the idol is even larger than he thought. Ted encounters a mischievous orphan monkey living in the jungle and gives him his yellow hat. Not wanting to be left alone, the monkey follows him and boards the cargo ship. Ted returns home and finds advertisements for the shrine all over the city. In Ted's apartment building, the monkey makes his way to the penthouse and vandalizes the walls of Ted's wealthy opera-singing neighbor, Miss Plushbottom, with paint. Due to the building's strict no-pet policy, Ted is evicted by Ivan, the doorman. At the museum, Ted reveals the idol's actual size to Mr. Bloomsberry and is kicked out by Junior after the monkey accidentally destroys an Apatosaurus skeleton. After a failed call to the Animal Control Service, Ted and the monkey are forced to sleep outside in a park. The next morning, Ted follows the monkey into the zoo, where Maggie and her students name the monkey George after a nearby statue of George Washington. George floats away on helium balloons that are popped by bird control spikes, but he is saved by Ted. At the home of Clovis, an inventor, George discovers that an overhead projector makes the idol appear 40 feet tall. Ted shows the projector to Mr. Bloomsberry, who sees it as the only way to save the museum and tells Ted that he is proud of him. A jealous Junior pours some of his coffee on the projector and gives the rest to George, blaming him when the projector breaks. With his plan derailed, Ted sadly informs the public that the museum will permanently close and that there is no idol, and allows Animal Control to capture George to be returned to Africa. Ted speaks with Maggie, who helps him understand what is important in life. He sneaks onto the ship where he reunites and reconciles with George in the cargo hold. George notices that the idol reveals a pictogram when turned to the light, and Ted realizes that it is a map to the real idol, which they find in the jungle. The real idol is displayed in the museum, which reopens with new interactive exhibits. Although disappointed that he did not get his parking lot, Junior gets a job as a valet and finds joy in his father finally being proud of him. Ivan, who has grown fond of George, invites Ted to move back into his apartment. Ted and Maggie share a romantic moment, but are interrupted by George, who has activated a rocket ship. Ted jumps in and they repeatedly circumnavigate the globe. Thanks for watching. Hope you all enjoyed, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel.